everything is working.
So we're set to go tomorrow. Well, the wind sure has picked up.
In a different kind of boat, this would be crazy.
The crew on Atticus is all a little seasick right now.
There's a 40% chance that we're sailing towards a tropical depression or storm or something.
Some pretty big waves over here, buddy. I'm Desiree.
And I'm Jordan. And this is Captain Oso, the little dude.
7 years ago, we bought a super neglected, really small sailboat that we called Atticus with the dream of seeing the world. Over the next 7 years, we spent a lot of time fixing up Atticus, but we also did boat work for money in Mexico, traded lobster for rum in Cuba, and lived off-grid in Panama during the pandemic.
Recently, we upgraded to our dream sailboat, Atticus 2, and have been busy transforming her from a weekend sailor to a long-distance off-grid voyager. Oso, are you ready? You ready to finish the electrical install? Yeah? All right, so we are coming down to the wire on this electrical installation project. And it's a good thing too, because starting tomorrow, we have a super crazy good weather window for us to sail all the way from here in Maine down to Annapolis, Maryland, where we need to get to in like a week's time in order to make it to the Annapolis Sailboat Show. And so it just so happens that if we finish the electrical install today, that we could actually sail out of here tomorrow. And so we've got a bunch of little stuff that we still need to do to finish up, but the main thing we need to do is to permanently install and mount the new lithium batteries. One of the batteries we can access easily from with the floorboards up, and so we're just gonna put in some braces to like mount it in place. But the other battery is kind of in a space where we can't really get to. And so Neil had the yard's fiberglass guy, Mark, build this for us so that we can more or less just put this in, mount it in place, and then slide the battery on top of it. So the batteries are mounted.
Batteries are mounted.
Holy moly. All right, well, we are done. I mean, can we say that?
We're out of things to do.
We're out of things to do. Holy moly. Wow, I mean everything. The equipment locker is just like beautiful now, everything. So Scott did such a good job of just like making everything connected and flow and, you know what I mean, like secured well. The alternator's running well. Yep. Everything is working.
So we're set to go tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I got to double check weather, but it's like I don't have any excuses right now.
Yeah, well, good job, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. That was really the most fun I've had working on a boat in a long time.
It's been a great project for us, too. We learned a lot. It was really exciting to work with all this equipment, and we look forward to watching episodes where you tell us how awesome it is all the time.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll do that. Cheers, man. Cheers. Yeah, we love it.
Dream team.
Dream team. Dream team. Ah! Let's go. So this is our very last run around our favorite trail here, and it's just beautiful here, and it's become our daily routine to get some exercise for ourselves and for Oso. The places that we've been sailing, the really, really cool, glamorous stuff is definitely neat. You know, getting to see some of the most unique places in the world, some of the, you know, bucket list items. But I think at the end of the day, the thing that makes this lifestyle, like my favorite thing about it, is just these little day in, day out stuff So getting to walk this trail every day. I mean, this isn't one of the world's top 10 best trails, but getting to know it and getting to just kind of live in this beauty every day is one of the big things I'm gonna remember of our experience here in Maine. Oh, so you ready? Let's go.
All right, well, I almost can't believe it. We got our electrical install completely wrapped up yesterday around 5 o'clock. So now it's around 8:30 and we're getting ready to cast the lines and head towards Annapolis. For the last 2 months, we've been working so hard to just try to make this deadline to be able to bring Atticus 2 to Annapolis. So I haven't really thought past this moment. So now that we are getting ready to cast the lines, I'm looking around at this anchorage and God, it's just so beautiful and the people here have been so nice to us. The idea of leaving this gorgeous place behind us is just sad at the same time. But we got this boat to see the world, so gotta keep on going.
All right, well, we are moving and we're heading through Goose Rock Pass, which right now there's a decent amount of current going against us. We're kind of hoping that we don't have any engine failures right now. We've got the main up. We can get the Genoa out pretty quick, so we should be all right, but we did test the engine a lot. This is not our first time stress testing the system. It's just our first time doing it where it really counts, where it really matters. Cool, so we made it through the pass, and the engine, you can hear it's working hard, but it's all working, and we're pumping out like 230 amps right now, so pretty good. All right, so we've been motoring for about 45 minutes to an hour, something like that, and I wanted to check on the status of the alternator. So what I'm using is the Ocean Planet Energy Tether. It's a Wi-Fi device that allows me to connect to all of the information coming out of the alternator regulator. The engine RPMs, I can see the alternator volts, I can see the field output, so like the percentage of power that the alternator is putting out. And so actually, now that I'm looking at this, our batteries are fully charged. But the main thing I wanted to check here is the alternator temperature, which right now is at 52 degrees Celsius. And so being able to up here while I'm navigating, while I'm sailing real quick, check all the different variables with the alternator and know how it's doing is so nice.
The engine?
Yeah, we're ready.
Right. Okay. All right, we're going 5.5 knots. And it's beautiful out.
I'm just happy we've got like this amazing wind right now. And the fact that it happened like the day after we finished our electrical project too. We are just very, very lucky right now. You look pretty comfortable.
Yeah. He's all grown up, so he's not afraid of being underway now, so he wants to just run around the deck. So I snagged him and stuck him on my lap. Like, stay here, it's nuzzle time. It's so nice to be here, feel the wind and hear the water go by, and have his warm little body on me, you know?
Yeah.
Sailing has always been cool, but it's like, I don't know, I just feel like it's been missing this guy.
Hey, buddy. Hi. Getting used to the motion of the ocean. Oh, yeah, good boy. Good boy.
Well, it is so calm down here that I'm gonna take advantage of this stability and cook some lunch. Luckily, our friend Becca stopped by this morning with a bunch of frozen homemade soups for our passage. So, look at this, we've got 4 of these. So I'm making 1 Toscana soup for lunch, and then I've got some quinoa going back there. And then she and Skip also gave us 3 lobsters for our trip. So I just cooked 1 right here. Everything kind of fell in place for this trip, and it's going well so far.
Oh man, I feel so spoiled. I was checking predict wind, and it looks like wind's just gonna keep picking up. And by tonight, we should have like near 20 knots. Cool. So we should enjoy the calm while we can.
Maine lobster, sailing in Maine for maybe the last time.
Yeah,
in a while. Wow, this is a soft shell lobster, so it's super easy to crack into it. That's good. I also loves lobster.
Oh, little dude wants it so bad. All right, well, we have wind. We've got probably like 18 knots of wind, and it's right on the port quarter. We are really moving along, doing like 7.5 knots. But I think we're gonna put a reef in the main and let the Genoa be like the more driving sail so that it's easier for us to stay on course. All right, bud, so do you remember how to do this?
A little bit. Okay, now I do the same
Yep.
thing.
Now take up on the halyard.
How's that?
Yeah, that's good.
Well, the wind sure has picked up. We've got 1 reef in the main, but it's still feeling a little bit overpowered, so we might even put a 2nd reef in the main. We're going 8 knots right now, which is pretty crazy. So I guess what we experienced earlier was the calm before all the craziness. What you doing?
Well, the autopilot keeps making a noise, kind of like a clanking noise. So I'm gonna kind of just see if I can get a look at what's going on. I think that the noise is the actual ram. And what happens is it'll like push or pull, you know, real hard. So the wave hits the stern and it tries to turn it, and the rudder fights that, and it'll fight, and then once it decides to let go, that's when it goes. So it goes zzz, and then holds, and then goes. So it makes that noise to like let off the pressure. You know what I mean? You look seasick.
Yeah, I can't look in the screen. I was just filming. Usually you film with your eyes open. But I had the camera and I was just holding it with my eyes closed.
I was like trying to explain, I'm like, you know what I mean, bud? And she's just like not reacting and closing her eyes. So anyway, I basically need to like learn more about how that autopilot works. If that sound starts getting worse, be aware of that and try to listen for that, you know? If anything happens, then we just have to hand steer, which there's lots of places to stop, right? It's not like we're on an Atlantic crossing. All right, well, yeah, we ended up putting in the 2nd reef. I mean, we probably have over 20 knots, just about like a little over. So right now we got the full Genoa and the double reefed main, and we're probably like doing, let's see how we're doing. I bet you we didn't lose any speed and the boat's just a little bit more well balanced.
Yeah. How fast are we going?
8.9, 8.7, 8.5.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're going fast. I think that's one of the things that's nice about this boat and like blue water boats in general is like what is crazy is relative, you know? And so in a different kind of boat, this would be crazy. The boat turns a could be crazy situation into a manageable, feels good situation.
Well, Jordan went down below, so I'm on my first watch. And the wind's picked up. I saw it registering like 23, 24 knots. So yeah, we are booking it. But I gotta say, the crew on Atticus is all a little seasick right now. I mean, it's really impressive because you'll see this big wave and I'm like, whoa, what's gonna happen to that wave? And then Atticus just like kind of surfs right over it. It's pretty neat that the boat can handle it. But I, on the other hand, feeling a little queasy. Ooh, yeah. But man, it's like night and day compared to how it was earlier. I knew that lobster and calm sailing was just too good to be true. Look at this one. Here's another one. I don't know if you can see how big those waves look, but they're big. We just kind of coast right over them. Wow. That was intense. When we're on land too long, sometimes I forget what it's like to be underway. Specifically, what it can be like when you're seasick underway. Like the idea of doing anything is just like, So for example, I've got like a earmuff over there. I've been contemplating getting up to go get it for like a good 5 minutes. So on my next stand up and look around, I think I'll snag it. First high watch in a long time. Just got a big wave there. So yeah, the motion has definitely gotten a lot better, which is really nice because Jordan and I were just kind of walking around like zombies for the last 6 hours and we didn't even film anything. And, we've got a lot of little chores that we need to do, like clean the lens to this camera, for example. It's just totally covered in salt. But little things like that when you're super seasick just seem insurmountable. Anyway, we're slowly making our way to the entrance of the Cape Cod Canal, and as of right now it looks like we'll get there in time to make the current to be able to transit the canal. We were a little worried that we wouldn't make it there in time, but as long as we get there by 4 a.m. We should be good.
All right, so it's 4 o'clock and we are approaching the Cape Cod Canal. This will be interesting going through at night. It's supposedly really well lit, so it should be easy. I'm feeling actually fairly well rested. I'm sure you do not feel that way. So I just got up from my off watch, whereas Desiree's been on for the last 4 hours. Once we get in the canal, you could probably go take a nap.
Okay.
So the plan is the wind's gonna be behind us by just a little bit as we go into the canal. And there's some following seas. It's that transition from not being in the canal to being in the canal that's the most dangerous, because you can have side currents pushing you one way or the other, and then these waves. So we're gonna make sure we keep the Genoa up we'll douse the main so that the wind is pushing us into the canal, like even if all else fails.
All right, I'm gonna douse it. Ready?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Buddy.
Yeah, and they're definitely starting to stack up as the water gets shallower.
Yeah. I'm ready for bed.
I bet. You've been doing good, buddy.
Thanks.
Cape Cod Canal Railroad Bridge. Cape Cod Canal Railroad Bridge. This is sailing vessel Atticus.
Vessel calling Canal Railroad Bridge, go ahead.
Hi, just checking to see if you have any scheduled closures for the next couple hours.
Negative, no scheduled closures for the next couple hours.
Great, thank you very much. So what's going on, bud?
I'm just eliminating the headsail because we've got a pretty fast oncoming power vessel our way. So just wanted to know that we're here.
Yeah, it was really hard to see it with all the different lights.
Yeah, looks like a shrimping boat or something.
Yeah, it is a shrimping boat. Okay, we're coming into the breakwater now. It's right here on my starboard side. And I think I'm gonna slow us down. Woo! That was nerve-wracking. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's not as well lit as I thought it was.
Well, there's just tons of lights everywhere.
There's so many lights. In fact, yeah, if there were like 90% fewer lights, then you could see green, red, cool, there I'm going, but there's so many lights. And then we've got a freaking rock wall right here that we just like can't see at all, you know? Oh, okay, but we're in. Calm down. So now we're in the canal, and I'm actually not sure what that facility is, but whatever it is, it's got a ton of lights. Now, there's so few lights that you can very easily see the shoreline. This is easier on like my stress levels. So we're just about through the canal, and now the trick is just keeping my eye on all these red and green lights for the channel markers, because this area is totally dark, and so I can just see these flashing channel markers, and I got to keep the reds to my left and the greens to my right. You know, since I'm sleep deprived, and it's dark and all I see is the flashing lights, it kind of can lull me into complacency. And I'm just like, yeah, the lights, they're out there. You know what I mean? But I have to like try to stay sharp, keep thinking, keep looking at the GPS, make sure that I'm in the middle of the channel, cross-referencing what I see with the GPS. On top of that, try to identify other vessels as early as I can. It's a tough thing to do when you're sleepy. We have avoided this kind of thing entirely in the past. But because we're in the States and because, you know, this channel is theoretically really well lit, we were like, well, you know, let's just try it. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. But it is definitely like an increase in risk for sure. Whew. All right, well, I just got the main up, got the sails back up, we're sailing. But boy, that was just way too much excitement for 4 in the morning. I checked the weather. This whole time I knew that there was a disturbance working its way up the coast, but they were only giving it 10% chance of forming into a tropical storm of some kind. Now they're giving it 40%. That makes me want to kind of change our plans. Originally, we were going to cruise through Buzzards Bay, sail by Block Island, and then sail directly to Delaware Bay, and then make our way up to Annapolis via the C&D Canal. Now, I'm thinking we'll probably end up sailing through Long Island Sound and then sail down the East River past Manhattan and like the Statue of Liberty, and then make our way to Delaware Bay. What that does is it lets us be in protected water longer, and it also gives us a couple of different options for, you know, decent places to hide if this disturbance does end up turning into a tropical storm. That is good, man. We redid the electrical system on this boat for a lot of reasons. You know, be able to have a water maker make all of our own water, be able to edit with our high performance computers, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that a lot of the reason why I wanted like an epic electrical system is so I could make coffee out of just a normal coffee pot while underway and at anchor. It's just such a luxury, and it makes me feel so happy. That was cool. There's a whale just jumping out there. Must have jumped like, I don't know, 3 times. That was awesome.
Land ho! He sees the land and he's so excited. It's like, let's go over there.
Yeah, he's like, guys, there. All right, so I've consulted the weather forecast, the NHC predictions on that disturbance. I've looked at the different tides and currents that we have to deal with in different places, and I've come up with a new itinerary. And it begins with us grabbing a mooring ball at Block Island. So we're basically just killing time until the current becomes favorable for us to go through the race, which is the entrance to Long Island Sound. Right now, if we were to just keep hightailing it there, we'd have like 3 knots of current against us and the wind against that. It would just be nasty. So this will be a nice way for us to get like 6 hours of solid sleep in, maybe like clean up, do the dishes before we continue on our way.
Oso's excited.
Yeah.
He's like, guys, look at that. It's beautiful. It's calling us.